You might meditate daily, chant mantras at dawn, and even eat like a monk. But if you break even one hidden rule, your entire spiritual path turns into a beautiful illusion. Buddhism is not about appearances. It's about your deepest state of being. Not knowing the rules doesn't save you from their consequences. You might be praised for kindness. You might feel on track. But in the shadow, your future pain is already growing. There are acts that seem small, but in the Buddhist reality, they explode like karmic grenades. When you break them, you're not just drifting from enlightenment, you're triggering spiritual collapse. These are not dogmas. They're warning lights on a road almost no one sees until it's too late. You must not kill. No one. Ever. Not a snake that startles you. Not a mosquito biting you in the night. Even the thought he deserves to die is the first link in a chain of suffering. Buddhism sees not bodies, but streams of consciousness, all yearning to live. Killing severs that stream. You become the cause of pain, even if no one notices. Taking life cuts a crack in the fabric of the world. And that tear comes back, maybe not today, but when you're most vulnerable. Karma doesn't ask why, it simply responds. Even killing a cockroach can spark a future wave of loss. In Buddhism, killing isn't just a crime against the body, it's a betrayal of your own nature. You must not take what isn't given. Be an object, an idea, or someone's energy. Stealing isn't just a crime, it's a disruption of balance. It could be a coin you found on the street or a borrowed idea you claimed as your own. If it wasn't offered, it's theft. You might enter a space without being invited. You might use someone's weakness for your gain. You might force your opinion, stealing someone's freedom to think. In Buddhism, theft is not always from pockets. It's often from hearts, from lives you've touched without permission. Even if no one notices, karma keeps track, and it speaks later through betrayal, emptiness, or unexplained sorrow. Because nothing stolen can truly be yours without first wounding your soul. You must not lie, not to protect, not to impress, not to get by. Every word you speak builds a world you live in. Lies, even gentle ones, create a world of smoke. Eventually, you can't breathe in it. Even silence, when truth is hidden for gain, becomes deceit. Even exaggeration is a departure from truth. Buddhism says, truth is not decoration, it's direction. Distort it and you lose your compass. You lose clarity. You lose trust, especially in yourself. Lies multiply, and soon you're trapped inside them. And you can't hear that inner silence where wisdom is born. You must not engage in forbidden connections. This isn't just about lust. It's about manipulation, control, and emotional addiction. A bond built on desire becomes a cage. Even if it feels sweet, it's still a chain. Even if it looks spiritual, it's still a chain. Buddhism doesn't reject love. It purifies it. Where there's attachment, there is no freedom. Where there is passion, there's pain. You may think you control the fire, but it's already burning you. True connection liberates. Everything else just mimics closeness until desire runs out and suffering begins. If you don't see it now, you'll see it when it's already too late. You must not poison your mind, not just with alcohol or drugs, but with the thoughts you entertain. Buddhism says your mind is your sacred temple. When you intoxicate it, you burn that temple down from within. You think it's relaxation, it's surrender. The mind dulls, clarity fades, perception twists. You begin to believe illusions. Even light intoxication invites deep suffering. Even endless scrolling, gossip, noise are poisons too. What you feed your mind becomes its nature. The only real question is, are you feeding light or shadow? You must not worship desire. Every desire is an anchor. Even a desire to be free, to awaken, to succeed. It keeps you bound. Desire promises warmth, but burns you hollow. You dream and begin to suffer what hasn't even happened. You strive and lose the peace already within. Buddha said, desire is the root of suffering, not because it's evil, but because it never ends. One fulfilled, another is born. You become a runner with no finish line. True freedom begins when nothing owns you anymore, when silence replaces hunger, and clarity replaces craving. You must not judge, Judgment is subtle violence. It wears the face of reason, of opinion, of morality, but it always seeks control. You see someone and you label weak, wrong, lesser. You judge yourself and fall into self-punishment. But Buddhism teaches, see without defining, observe without attaching labels. Every time you judge, you stop seeing reality. You see projection. And worst of all, you believe in that projection. Judgment kills compassion. And without compassion, there is no awakening. You must not fear suffering, because suffering is not a punishment. It's a doorway, a message, a compass showing you're walking the wrong path. You may drown it in distractions, numb it with pleasure, but all that does is delay the truth. Buddha began his journey only after seeing age, sickness, and death. Pain stripped away illusions. Suffering sharpens a mind, deepens a heart. If you fear pain, you fear growth. But if you meet it with open eyes, it becomes your teacher. And what felt like a curse becomes your awakening. You must not cling, not to people, not to things, not even to your own thoughts. Everything you grip will eventually slip away. The tighter you hold, the deeper the pain. Buddhism says, what is born will die, what begins will end. This isn't tragedy, it's nature. If you can't let go, you can't truly live. You hold on to relationships that have died, identities that no longer serve, dreams that have become cages. Clinging turns life into struggle. Letting go brings you home, to reality, to presence, to peace. And above all, you must not forget why you are here, because the world will try to make you forget. It will show you fame, pleasure, success. It will whisper, you matter, you're winning. But all of it is dust, illusion. Buddhism reminds you, you are not here to conquer, you are here to awaken. All else is background noise. Every rule, every vow, every truth is not control. It's a reminder, a compass. Because in this lifetime, you only have one real choice, to walk toward the light or stay in the shadow. Decide.